The principle of conservation is also important politically, very important politically. For example, in the objectivist, in the Ayn Rand appreciator sphere, right, which includes people that just like her books and aren't objectivists at all. There's a lot of people like that. I believe I seem to have met, and but anyway, that spans from her also to a strange overlap with people that like Heinlein. And my belief is that this stems from the fact that Heinlein had this there ain't no such thing as a free lunch idea, the Tanstaafl, and that is a principle of conservation that has these political consequences. Because there are people that think there's such a thing as a free lunch, that somehow there's a free ride and it really is free and doesn't count. You might not want to believe that, but people think there are little gimmicks in various ways that in their mind, after they make their approximations they make to live their lives, that it was free. And to get a really, I think, a pure version of this from attempts at science and engineering is the perennial desire for a perpetual motion machine. Perpetual motion machine. It's always a perpetual motion machine. Somebody, and I talk to people about this often, and the people are always like, well, maybe you could. How could you? You can't get a perpetual motion machine. You can't take energy from a machine and it still have energy left. So the ideal machine, even, it's you got to get that energy from somewhere, right? Now in politics, there's people often think that they can get some perpetual free machine, and it's like in social services. I've met people that or believe in Tanstaafl and stuff, and like, but Heinlein believed in charity. It seems, to be believed in charity. People should do voluntarily, or and so on. And what people are afraid of, this emotional reaction they have, is that people are thinking that it's a perpetual motion machine, that it provides energy and nothing has to be put in, and these people will just learn to use it habitually. And that does happen with social services, there's no doubt. And then there's people that should be in that situation. I'm a handicapped person, might as one that needs social services could habituate to it. Why not, and get a lifestyle of that. On the other hand, we would hope that able-bodied people would use it to get up on their feet and then not habituate to it and do something else. And this is all related to this idea of where does stuff come from? Is there some free stuff, or did it have to come from somewhere? And I think so. The overlap, because there's other people that like Ayn Rand, and they don't. They come from the philosophical. They are seeking refuge for their own little o objectivity. And then she has a romantic version, so there's personality reasons that it can attract people. And none of these, by the way, are insults. All philosophies have these kinds of characteristics. Not that I figured them all out, but kind of people they attract in various clustering of subgroups. And this side of the clustering of the libertarian world that believes in in the Heinlein edge of all of that is coming from this rationalistic, this principle of, listen, you got to do the accounting. You can't just pretend it's got to be done because it's a good idea or anything. Everything comes from somewhere. So, and Heinlein is an example of where he was into physics, did physics problems and stuff, and that's certainly where his drawing from that as a metaphor, that energy is conserved. But on the other hand, he was into this stroke of brilliance where, with putting the fulcrum in the right place, just a little bit of energy can move worlds. And so there was this amplification of energy. So it's not a defeatist thing that there isn't enough to give because there ain't no such thing as a free lunch. It's like, no, there's no such thing as a free lunch. But then again, a bag of rice costs a few dollars and can save people's lives. So anyway, just think about that as well.